Part 12. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 111. The two male cultivators of the High family widened their eyes and almost stopped breathing. What did they see? Hai Minjiao's flying sword was clamped by a cultivator in the chi refining stage with 2 fingers. You are not a cultivator in the chi refining stage. Hai Minjiao's face was flushed red, but no matter how much he urged his true essence, the flying sword clamped by Lin Su remained motionless. At this moment, if Hai Minjiao and the other two still couldn't guess that Lin Su had hidden his cultivation, then they were really stupid. When did I say I was a cultivator in the chi refining stage? Lin Su sneered. His current physical strength was no weaker than that of a cultivator in the golden core stage. Of course, Hai Minjiao's flying sword could not hurt him. Of course, he could only clamp Hai Minjiao's flying sword and make it unable to move. He still had some strength to break it with just his fingers. However, it takes more than just fingers to destroy a flying sword. Huh! A ball of black flame emerged from Lin Su's 2 fingers, and suddenly drilled into the flying sword. It found the spiritual mark engraved by Hai Minjiao in the flying sword and pounced on it, burning it fiercely, and in the blink of an eye, it was burned completely. Ah! The spiritual mark in the flying sword was destroyed, and Hai Minjiao suddenly felt as if he was pierced by thousands of steel needles on his soul. He screamed and fell to the ground and rolled. With a thought, Lin Su put the flying sword into the spiritual field space. Although this flying sword is only a medium-grade treasure and is very ordinary in refining, the materials are still good. It can be decomposed into materials in the alchemy furnace and can always be used to refine other magic weapons in the future. Senior, we were wrong. We were blind and offended you. Please forgive us this time. Looking at Hai Minjiao's miserable appearance, the 2 male monks of the Hai family felt their legs spinning. Seeing Lin Su staring at them, they were so scared that they knelt on the ground with a thump and begged loudly. The female monk of the Hai family was also scared and her face turned pale. As for the waiter, he had already quietly crawled out of the private room. It seemed that he went to ask the shopkeeper for advice. You, get up. This matter has nothing to do with you. You can leave. Lin Su pointed at the female monk of the Hai family who was kneeling on the ground and said lightly. Thank you, senior. Thank you, senior. The female monk was stunned at first, then overjoyed, and quickly got up from the ground and ran out the door. The 2 male cultivators of the Hai family who were begging for mercy turned their eyes and quietly headed for the door, but heard Lin Su's cold voice behind them, Did I tell you to leave? Senior, please spare my life. This is all forced by young Master Hai. Senior, please forgive us and treat us as nothing. Senior, we were blind and offended you, please spare my life. The 2 male cultivators of the Hai family were sweating profusely and turned around to beg for mercy again. At this time, Hai Minjiao had recovered from the severe pain of the destruction of the flying sword's spiritual mark. Hearing that the 2 put all the responsibility on himself, he couldn't help but get angry and turned blue. He pointed at the 2 and said angrily, Sea dogs. Sea birds. You 2 bastards, when this young master returns to the Hai family, I will definitely peel off your skin. Sea dogs. Sea birds. Lin Su smiled when he heard the names of the 2. The parents of these 2 people are so good at naming. They can even think of such a thing? The bald man Tianyuan laughed secretly while holding his belly. Len Lingyu couldn't help laughing. The 2 male cultivators of the Hai family were embarrassed. This name was their biggest taboo. Normally, they would turn against anyone who dared to laugh at their names. However, their lives were in Lin Su's hands at this moment. Naturally, they dared not show any dissatisfaction except for a smile. Sea dog, sea bird, are you disciples of the Hai family in Hai City? Hearing Lin Su's question, the 2 sea dogs nodded hurriedly, replying to the senior, We are disciples of the Hai family. What about this kid? Lin Su raised his chin towards Hai Minjiao. His name is Hai Minjiao, he is the eldest son of our Hai family, and the most beloved son of the patriarch. So he is the eldest son of the Hai family. In this case, I will. Lin Su touched his chin and looked at Hai Minjiao and said slowly. Don't pursue it. Hai Minjiao's eyes lit up, and his identity as the eldest son of the Hai family really worked. I will give you a lighter punishment. Lin Su smiled, as long as you give us 4,000 middle-grade spirit stones as spiritual compensation, I will let you go. 4,000 middle-grade spirit stones, still a lighter punishment? Why don't you go and rob? Hai Minjiao almost vomited blood in anger. Lin Su was just asking for too much. 4,000 middle-grade spirit stones, that's most of his property. What, too much? How about 5,000 middle-grade spirit stones? You are blackmailing me. 6,000 middle-grade spirit stones. Lin Su added another 1,000 middle-grade spirit stones without changing his expression. It looked like if Hai Minjiao refuted again, the number would increase. I don't have so many spirit stones. Hai Minjiao didn't tell the truth. Because of the storage rings, cultivators always carry everything with them. After all, it's not as safe as putting it on their bodies. Oh? Really? Hand over your storage ring for me to check. If you really don't have so many, let one of your 2 followers go back to get it. Lin Su stared at Hai Minjiao with burning eyes. Although the Hai family was not a big family, as the eldest son of the Hai family and the most beloved son of the Hai family master, he should have a fortune of 6,000 spiritual stones. Lin Su had never thought of taking Hai Minjiao's life, but since he had fallen into his hands, how could he not make a fortune from him? I remembered it wrongly. I should have brought enough. Let me find it. Hai Minjiao was defeated under Lin Su's gaze. He naturally could not give the storage ring to Lin Su for inspection. In addition to more than 8,000 medium-grade spiritual stones, there were also many natural treasures. If Lin Su found it and forced it to stay, he would cry to death. Putting the 6,000 medium-grade spiritual stones into the storage bag, Hai Minjiao handed the storage bag to Lin Su with a sad face. Lin Su took the storage bag and scanned it with his spiritual sense and nodded with satisfaction. This young master of the Hai family is really a fat sheep. Today's harvest is not bad. The spirit stone is given to you, can I leave now? Seeing Lin Su nod, Hai Minjiao was as if pardoned. He turned around and ran towards the door despite the severe pain in his soul, but was stopped by Lin Su again. Stop. What's the matter? I have already given you the spirit stone. Do you want to change your mind? Hai Minjiao gritted his teeth and turned his head, his face full of grief and anger. I said I would let you go, but I didn't say you would leave like this. Didn't you just say that if you don't cut me into 17 or 18 pieces, you will roll out with your face down? Now is the time to fulfill your promise. Lin Su looked at Hai Minjiao with a smile, but in Hai Minjiao's eyes, his smile was even more terrifying than a demon. You, don't go too far. Going too far? Did I? I just asked you to fulfill your promise. Lin Su's tone was still light, but everyone could hear the threat in his words. Are you going to do it yourself or do you want me to help you? I'm a bit heavy-handed, if I hurt you that's not good. You. Hai Minjiao glared at Lin Su fiercely. His 2 followers, Heigu and Heiniao, were afraid that this young Master Hai would say something to annoy Lin Su, so they quickly grabbed his arm and advised, Young Master Hai, don't be impulsive. Yes, young Master Hai, this man's strength is unfathomable. A good man doesn't suffer a loss in front of him. It's important to get out of here first. Hai Minjiao took a deep breath. He also saw that if he didn't fulfill his promise today, Lin Su would not let him go. Now he was at the mercy of others, and he could only swallow this humiliation temporarily. Remember, don't use your true energy to protect your body. Otherwise, it won't count, and you have to start over. Lin Su added lightly. You are so cruel. After alternating between blue and white for a long time, Hai Minjiao gritted his teeth, jumped more than 10 feet high in the air, turned over in the air, and fell face down to the ground. Boom! Dust flew up, Hai Minjiao's face was completely stuck to the floor, and then he rolled out of the private room without saying a word, leaving only a little blood on the floor. I think he must have been bleeding from his mouth and nose after falling on the floor without the protection of his true energy. You are so shameless. Fortunately the floor is strong enough, otherwise it would be troublesome if it was broken. After rolling out of the private room, Hai Minjiao had just climbed up from the floor with a nosebleed when he heard Lin Su's murmur from the private room. He almost spit out another mouthful of blood. With a ferocious face, he growled at the two sea dogs who were still in the private room. What are you still standing there for? Why don't you leave quickly? The two sea dogs agreed and were about to follow, but heard Lin Su say lightly, remember to tell your master 3 words when you go back. Yama Palace. Yama Palace? What a thing, I have never heard of it. The two sea dogs were stunned, but they didn't dare to say anything more. They responded timidly and ran downstairs in a flash. Awesome, Brother Lin, you are awesome. The bald man who had been watching the show without saying a word could no longer hold back. As soon as the 3 people left, he burst into laughter and gave Lin Su a thumbs up. Just so. Lin Su waved his hand, took out the storage bag handed over by Hai Minjiao, and stretched out his hand to wipe it. A pile of medium-grade spirit stones appeared in front of the bald man and Leng Lingyu. Everyone who sees it will get a share, 1,000 medium-grade spirit stones each. Lin Su was not pretending to be generous. The bald man and Leng Lingyu were present at this matter today, especially Leng Lingyu. This little goblin did not hesitate to fan the flames. If they took 2,000 medium-grade spirit stones, they would not be able to stay out of it. If there was any trouble, the 3 of them would bear it together. Brother Su, these spirit stones are a bit difficult to handle. The bald man and Leng Lingyu naturally understood Lin Su's intention. Leng Lingyu looked at the spirit stones in front of her, and looked at Lin Su with a hint of inexplicable meaning. Why, senior sister Leng doesn't dare to take it. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 112. What's there to be afraid of when something is delivered to your door? You are just a small family like Hai, and you don't even take me seriously. After staring at Lin Su for a breath, Leng Lingyu suddenly smiled and put away the spirit stone in front of her. That's right, if you don't take it, it's a waste. I won't be polite to you, Brother Lin. Even if the head of the Hai family comes in person, the 3 of us won't be afraid of him. The bald man Tianyuan smiled and put away his own share of spirit stones. Don't worry, I believe that even if the head of the Hai family comes, he probably won't come to cause trouble. Why? The bald man stared at Leng Lingyu, not understanding why he was so sure. Didn't you notice what Brother Su asked them to tell the Hai family's head when the 2 sea beasts left? A glimmer of wisdom flashed in Leng Lingyu's eyes. Although the Hai family is not a big family, it is one of the best in Hai city. Hai Minjiao has not heard of our Yama Palace, but the Hai family's head must know it. Do you think he might come to trouble us for such a son? Yes, that makes sense. Brother Lin, I didn't expect you to think so far. I admire you. The bald man suddenly realized and looked at Lin Su with admiration, but Lin Su didn't feel proud. He narrowed his eyes at Leng Lingyu. This woman is really not simple. She saw through his intentions at a glance. No wonder the bald man seemed to be a little afraid of Leng Lingyu. Such a goblin like an intoxicating poisonous wine also has a delicate mind and superb wisdom. Any man who is entangled will have a headache, right? At least Lin Su's head is a little painful now, because it seems that he has been targeted by this little goblin. In the inner hall of the Hai family in Hai City. You were, You said that those people killed you after knowing that you were the eldest son of the high family. They took your flying sword and forced you to hand over 6,000 middle-grade spirit stones. They also told you to roll out of the door with your face down before letting you go. After returning to the high family, Hai Minjia went straight to the inner hall and exaggerated his experience in Tianxiang Tower to his father, Hai Dongbo, the head of the high family. His son was bullied in Tianxiang Tower because of a private room. As a father, Hai Dongbo was naturally ashamed. In Hai City, the Hai family is also a noble family. Who dared to be so disrespectful to the Hai family? Dad, I have already revealed my identity, but that bastard didn't take our Hai family seriously at all. He relied on his high level of cultivation to tease and humiliate me. Dad, it doesn't matter if my son is humiliated, but if we don't get back at him, how can our Hai family survive in Hai City in the future? Hai Minjia's words made Hai Dongbo frown. The Hai family is one of the most prestigious families in Hai City. Knowing Hai Minjia's identity, he dared to blackmail him blatantly. I'm afraid the other party's identity is not simple, right? Have those people revealed their identities? Hai Dongbo asked this, and Heigu, who had been standing by without daring to breathe, spoke tremblingly. Then, that person asked us to bring 3 words to you, the head of the family. 3 words? Which 3 words? Yanluo Palace. What? Yanluo Palace. Hai Dongbo's face suddenly changed, and he grabbed Heigu's collar and pulled him over. The momentum of a Jindan stage cultivator burst out, and Heigu couldn't breathe. His face turned pale with fear, and he couldn't say a word. The Hai family disciples on the side were also pale one by Hai Dongbo's sudden burst of momentum. Hai Dongbo also realized his own loss of composure, took a deep breath to restrain his momentum, and asked in a deep voice, did that person really say Yanluo Palace? Yes, yes, it is Yanluo Palace. Heigu swallowed his saliva, and when he saw Hai Dongbo let go of his hand holding his collar, he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Dad, what is this Yama Palace? What's wrong with you? Hai Minjia had never seen Hai Dongbo show such a shocked and frightened expression, and couldn't help asking in surprise. Yamluo Palace, it's actually someone from the Yama Palace. Hai Dongbo frowned, his face was gloomy, and after muttering to himself for a few words, he turned his gaze to Hai Minjia and solemnly said, if you meet someone from the Yama Palace in the future, don't provoke them. Remember, absolutely. Yes, my child remembers. But Dad, why is this? Is the Yama Palace so scary? Hai Minjia looked at his father's serious expression and knew that Hai Dongbo was not joking with him. He nodded and agreed, but he was still very puzzled. Hai Dongbo looked at his son, and then at the sea dogs and seabirds beside him. Fortunately, this was in the inner hall, and only the 4 of them knew about the Yama Palace, otherwise it would be troublesome. The Yama Palace is basically a taboo in the Chaos Star Sea. After thinking about it, Hai Dongbo decided to tell them the truth, lest the 3 of them get curious and go out to inquire and cause trouble. Yanluo Palace is a force that walks in the dark, and is known as the 3 major forces in the Chaos Star Sea together with Xiushan Palace and Lingshao Island. And compared with Xiushan Palace and Lingshao Island, Yanluo Palace is much more terrifying. One of the 3 major forces in the Chaos Star Sea? Aren't there only Xiushan Palace and Lingshao Island in the Chaos Star Sea? There is actually a big force like Yanluo Palace hidden in the dark, and from Hai Dongbo's tone, this Yanluo Palace is the most difficult to mess with among the 3 major forces. While Hai Minjia and the other 2 were shocked, Hai Dongbo continued, Yanluo Palace is a killer organization, and the people in it are all ruthless. Don't look at my father's early stage of Jindan cultivation. If a killer above the middle stage of foundation building comes out of Yanluo Palace to assassinate me, I'm afraid it will be difficult for my father to escape. There is a saying in the Chaos Star Sea, it's better to offend the virtual spirit than to offend Yanluo. if the person you met today is really from Yanluo Palace, it's a great blessing to be able to come back safely. Hai Dongbo's words made Hai Minjiao and the other two sweat coldly on their backs. It's better to offend the virtual spirit than to offend Yanluo. Doesn't that mean that Yanluo Palace is more terrifying than Xiushan Palace and Lingxiao Island combined? Hai Minjiao couldn't help but feel scared when he thought about how he threatened to chop Lin Su into 17 or 18 pieces today. No wonder the other party looked so nonchalant. It was not because he was arrogant, but because his Hai family and the Yama Palace were not at the same level. He didn't take the Hai family seriously at all. Hai Dongbo was right. They were lucky to be able to save their lives today. Dad, do you think I should take the gift to apologize now? Hai Dongbo said that even an early-stage Jindan master could not stop the assassins of the Yama Palace who were above the middle stage of foundation building. Hai Minjiao suddenly worried that his behavior today would bring disaster to the Hai family. No need, since they let you go, they shouldn't care. Hai Dongbo had also thought about Hai Minjiao's suggestion, but after repeated consideration, he gave up the idea. I'm afraid that our Hai family's small business is not taken seriously by others. You have to restrain your domineering temper in the future, otherwise you may offend someone you can't afford to offend and bring disaster upon your family. Yes, Daddy, I remember. Also, keep today's events to yourself and never let a word out. Yes, Patriarch. Brother Tian, do you want this little goblin, senior sister Leng to join in the cooperation? Just as Lin Su expected, the Hai family didn't dare to come back to ask for trouble, and the bald man Tian Yuan also said his purpose, which was to get Leng Lingyu to join in the cooperation during the trip to the gods and demons' secret realm. What? Little Linzi, do you have any objection? Do you think I'm not qualified? Leng Lingyu looked at Lin Su with a smile, but no matter how Lin Su looked at her, he felt that there was a chill hidden in that smile. He thought to himself that women are fickle animals, especially beautiful women. A fairy like Leng Lingyu is even more unpredictable. At first, she called him Lin Su, then Brother Su, and now Little Linzi. She couldn't even stand being called Big Sister, but she called herself Old Lady. This Leng Lingyu is simply a collection of contradictions, which is really unpredictable. Looking at Leng Lingyu's staring eyes, Lin Su forced a smile unnaturally. Senior sister Leng is of course qualified. I'm afraid that my strength is low and I will drag you down. Otherwise, let's go our separate ways. It's okay, little Linzi, I don't dislike you. Leng Lingyu smiled and waved her hand, which made Lin Su roll his eyes. You don't dislike me, but I dislike you. But he could only say this in his heart, otherwise the little demon might get mad. Looking at the bald man who was concentrating on eating after making his suggestion, Lin Su felt very angry. It would be great if the two of them could cooperate to explore the secret realm of gods and demons. Why did they bring in Leng Lingyu, the demon? Brother Tian, what's wrong with you? Why did you invite such a lady? I doubt your sincerity now. Lin Su whispered to the bald man. Leng Lingyu's cultivation was on par with his, so he was not worried that he would hear it. It's unfair, Brother Lin. How dare I provoke this lady? I can't even hide from her. She took the initiative to find me. This lady is too cruel. I dare not refuse her at all. How about you try it, Brother Lin? The bald man's face turned bitter when he heard it, and he complained to Lin Su. Try it yourself? Forget it. Even the bald man, who is fearless, is so afraid of this cold demon. It is better not to offend bad people, not women. After thinking about it, Lin Su said seriously, Sister Leng, since you must join, I have something to say in advance. After entering the god and demon secret realm, everyone must work together and not harm each other. Of course, since it is a cooperation, of course we can't do things that stab each other in the back. Leng Lingyu and the bald man both nodded in agreement. Lin Su continued, secondly, the things obtained in the God and Demon secret realm will be distributed according to the degree of effort. Whoever contributes more will get more. Do you have any objections? The more capable, the more it gets. It's fair. Len Lingyu and the bald man had no objection to Lin Su's proposal. After deciding, the three of them went down the Tianxiang building and walked towards the Jue building. It was time to gather at the headquarters. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 113. This is the main hall of Yama Hall. Through the teleportation array of the Hahai City branch, Lin Su and the others arrived at the main hall of the Yama Hall. Rightward arrow. Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. The main hall looks basically the same as a city, but the dome is not the sky, but a huge light curtain. You can faintly see the outside scenery, and even fish are passing by. Is the main hall of Yama Palace located under the sea? Lin Su originally thought that the main hall of Yama Hall, like the branch halls, was underground in a certain big city, but he never thought that it was under the sea. A huge magic circle separated the sea water to form a huge undersea city. How's it going? Are you surprised? The bald man chuckled. I was also surprised when I came here for the first time. Our Yamaluadian's generosity is not inferior to the Xianxia Palace floating in the void above Suji Peak. Xianxia Palace? Floating in the void? It sounds very similar to the floating mountain peaks of the Divine Sword sect in the world of immortality. Brother Tian, have you been to Xianxia Palace? No, I just heard about it. The bald man shook his head. Xianxia Palace is the main hall of Xianxia Palace. I heard that only the hall master, deputy hall master and 8 elders can live in it. Others must obtain permission to enter, otherwise they will be subject to the protection of the palace. The attack of the formation. Our Yamaluo Palace is different. The killer's family members basically live here and rarely go out. As long as they are the killers of Yamaluo Palace, they are proud to have a house in this Yama city. For the monks in the Chaos Star Sea, Xianxia Palace is illusory, and our Yama Palace is mysterious. The one that appears most frequently is Spirit Beast Island, because Spirit Beast Island has no branches, and all the disciples live on Spirit Beast Island. Above, and their disciples often move around the chaotic Star Sea. Lin Su quite agrees with Len Lingyu's words. He has never met a disciple of Xianxia Temple in the years since he came to Luanzingai. If it weren't for the bald man Tianyuan, he wouldn't have been able to join Yamaluo Temple. However, the disciples of Spirit Beast Island are he has met many people, including Yeping the eldest lady of Spirit Beast Island, who was saved by him. Of course, the other party may not know it. After the initial surprise, Lin Su quickly calmed down and followed Tianyuan and Len Lingyu to the center of the city. This was the residence of the master of the Yama Hall, surrounded by the residences of the Yuanying stage elders of the Yama Hall. Palace Master. Entering the mansion and entering the main hall, the bald man and Len Lingyu bowed respectfully to a handsome young man sitting at the head of the main hall. In addition to this person, there were 7 other people in the hall, 2 of whom their age and cultivation level are similar to those of Lin Su and others, while the other 5 are in the alchemy stage. Is this the master of the Yama Hall, the supreme master in the middle nascent soul stage? As for the master of the Yama Hall, Lin Su has heard about it from Tianyuan and others over the years. His name is Luo Feng, nicknamed the Emperor of Yama. Although he is only at the peak of the middle nascent soul, even if he is from the Xianxia Palace Master Su Kangsheng and Spirit Beast Island Master Yewuji, 2 powerful monks in the late nascent soul stage, did not dare to underestimate the Emperor of Yama. With their unpredictable assassination skills, the strength of the Emperor of Yama was no different. Under the Great Monk. It is said that the Yama Temple was founded by the Emperor of Yama. Originally, there were only two super powerful forces in the chaotic Star Sea, the Xianxia Temple and the Spirit Beast Island. Because of the emergence of the Emperor of Yama, Luo Feng, the Yama Temple became famous in less than 200 years. King Kaiu has become a force walking in the darkness that can compete with the two major forces. Although there are still some shortcomings in the background, as a killer force, neither Xianxia Palace nor Spirit Beast Island dare to underestimate Yama Luo Palace. But Lin Su never expected that the legendary Emperor Yama would be such a handsome young man, which was completely different from the image of a mighty man and white-haired old man that Lin Su originally imagined. Lin Su has met the palace master. Lin Su followed Tian Yuan and Leng Lingyu and bowed to Emperor Yama. When he saw Emperor Yama's eyes falling on him, his heart trembled inexplicably. Fifth Shuro Lin Su is indeed extraordinary and interesting. Yan Luo Tianzi stared at Lin Su for a while, his eyes seemed to see through Lin Su, which made Lin Su feel a little nervous. Could it be that his true identity was seen by the other party? Now that everyone is here, the entrance to the secret realm of gods and demons will be opened in 3 days. You should stay in Yama City for these 2 days and do not leave. After 3 days, follow me to the secret realm. After looking at Lin Su for a while, Emperor Yama looked away and glanced at everyone, then waved his hand, indicating that everyone could leave. Is this the end? I thought that Emperor Yama would have some arrangements for this trip to the secret realm of gods and demons, and at least say a few words of encouragement. Unexpectedly, it would end so soon, which surprised Lin Su. As everyone bowed and saluted, they turned and walked out of the hall, but they heard the words of Emperor Yama ringing in their ears. Lin Su, come to the backyard, I have something to ask you. Also, don't let anyone know. Lin Su paused, a look of surprise flashed across his face, and soon regained his composure. Brother Tian, senior sister Leng, I want to take a walk in Yama City and prepare a few things. Let's say goodbye and see you in 3 days. After leaving the mansion, Lin Su hugged his fists at the bald man and Leng Lingyu, then ducked into the alley next to him, and directly used the invisibility method. Tian Yuan and Leng Lingyu were a little surprised by Lin Su's sudden departure, but they didn't say anything. It happened that they each had something to prepare, so they might as well part ways. Guessing that everyone had left, Lin Su walked out of the alley and re-entered the residence of Emperor Yama. He bypassed the front hall and came to the backyard. When he saw Emperor Yama standing in the pavilion from a distance, he walked toward him. Touched behind. There are no outsiders here, no need to be invisible anymore, show up and speak. Lin Su had just entered the pavilion and was still a few meters away from Emperor Yama when he heard the voice of Emperor Yama. Then he turned around and looked at himself with a smile on his lips, as if his invisibility was just a lie. He is worthy of being a figure who can stand shoulder to shoulder with the two great late nascent soul cultivators. He is truly amazing. But think about it, this method of invisibility was originally created by Emperor Yama, so it's not surprising that he could see it, not to mention that there is such a big gap in cultivation between Lin Su and Emperor Yama. I wonder what the palace master's instructions are for me to come here. After removing his invisibility, Lin Su bowed to Emperor Yama and asked. Lin Su, are you a transformed monster? Emperor Yama looked at Lin Su quietly for a while, then suddenly opened his mouth and uttered these words. Oops, it was seen. Lin Su's expression changed. This Emperor of Hell was really terrifying. He could see through his identity at just one glance. He had already used the 11 condensation pill to restrain all his aura. How did the other party know? Palace Master, what are you talking about? How could I be a monster? No matter what, you can't admit it at this time. Who knows what the Emperor Yama wants to do? If he wants to use his own weapons to refine medicine, wouldn't it be doomed? Lin Su smiled and was already thinking about how to escape, but in front of an old monster like Yama, it seemed that running was in vain. Lin Su, you don't have to deny it. I have already seen your true form, a spiritual-eyed snow python that is about to turn into a dragon, right? Emperor Yama said, waving his hand gently, and a curtain of light surrounded the entire pavilion. Lin Su's heart suddenly sank to the bottom, and now he had no choice but to run away even if he wanted to. Now that the palace master has seen it, I won't deny it. Yes, I am the spirit-eyed snow python. Did the palace master call me here today just to deal with me, an alien? The man is a swordsman, and I am a fish. The strength gap between the two sides is too big. Lin Su is too lazy to struggle pointlessly. His face has returned to calm, waiting for the next words of Emperor Yama. Boy, don't be nervous. I have no ill intentions towards you. Otherwise, do you think you can still stand here well now? Lin Su breathed a sigh of relief at the words of Emperor Yama, and then he rolled his eyes in his heart. Couldn't you have said it earlier? It almost scared me to death. Then why did the palace master come to me? And how did you see through my true identity? I have already taken the Zixi Dan, so I am confident that I have not revealed any flaws. You need to ask this question clearly. If others see your identity, you may not have any evil thoughts. By 11 Dan? No wonder even I can't see your specific cultivation level. I didn't expect you to be able to get such a precious elixir. Emperor Yama nodded somewhat unexpectedly but clearly, with a smile flashing across his handsome face. I once hunted a snow python with spiritual eyes and used its gallbladder to make a pill. Like you, I also have silver eyes that break the delusion. These delusion-breaking silver eyes can see through all illusions, and your true identity cannot be hidden from me. However, Emperor Yama changed his voice. I am curious that it is much more difficult for a snake to transform into a human form than ordinary monsters, but how did you transform into a human form? Also, your soul and intelligence are extremely high. It's different from ordinary monsters, it's more like a human monk. It's really hard for me to understand. Can you explain it to me? If I said it was inconvenient, why don't you stop asking? Cursing in his heart, Lin Su thought about it for a moment, sighed and said, Palace Master, your eyes are as bright as fire, so I won't hide anything. I am indeed not an ordinary monster. I was a monk in the early stages of foundation building, and was later raped. Someone framed me for self-explosion, but I somehow managed to save my life. When I woke up again, I had already seized the body of a juvenile spiritual-eyed snow python. I don't know the reason why I was able to transform. I got a recipe for the transformation pill and refined the transformation pill, so I was able to transform into a human form in advance. You can still save your life by self-destructing Daiji. A bright light suddenly burst out in the eyes of Emperor Yama. After scanning Lin Su once, he suddenly burst into laughter. Good boy, what you have experienced is unprecedented. What a blessing. Maybe you can really help me. Get the spirit transforming liquid. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 114. Spiritual liquid? What? Could it be related to the impact on the god transformation stage? Palace Master, you have great cultivation and powerful magic power. You can't even get these things. I'm afraid I can't help you with my little cultivation, can I? Lin Su knew very well how much he weighed. Although he didn't know what the spirit transforming liquid was, it was definitely not an ordinary thing that could be coveted by a peak master in the mid-nascent soul stage like Emperor Yama. Lin Su didn't know how to use his head. Going to help search for someone with a fever is no different than seeking death. You are so naughty. Are you going to shirk it before I even open my mouth? Emperor Yama looked at Lin Su amusedly. Don't worry, I didn't ask you to get the spirit transforming liquid. I just asked you to pay attention when you are in the secret realm of gods and demons. If you can bring it out, I will definitely have something important to do. Reward. The secret realm of gods and demons. This spirit-transforming liquid is within the secret realm of gods and demons. What do you think? If the spirit-transforming liquid is not in the secret realm of gods and demons, and I can't enter it due to limitations of my cultivation, why do I need your help? Emperor Yama waved his hand, and the light curtain that originally surrounded the pavilion disappeared. How about it, kid? If you can really help me get the spirit-transforming liquid, in addition to the reward, I can promise to help you once. Of course, if you really don't, if you are willing, I won't force you to leave Yama City. Don't worry, your identity will not be revealed to anyone. Just leave? Do you mean to deprive yourself of the qualification to enter the secret realm of gods and demons? Lin Su sighed, this is a naked threat. If you don't agree, you will lose the qualification to enter the secret realm of gods and demons. If you agree, you only need to pay attention if your ability allows. After completing it, you can get generous rewards. Any fool knows how to choose. Palace Master, this is a typical combination of coercion and inducement. I think I have no choice, right? With a wry smile, Lin Su nodded, I promise to help you get the spirit transformation liquid to the best of my ability, but I can't guarantee it. As long as you try your best. Emperor Yama laughed, I have a hunch that you will definitely be able to help me and successfully bring out the spirit transforming liquid. After coming out of the residence of Emperor Yama, Lin Su wandered aimlessly on the street, recalling the previous conversation with Emperor Yama, and still felt that there were twists and turns and ups and downs. At the beginning, Lin Su was trapped in the pavilion after being revealed by the Emperor of Yama. No. Later, when he learned that Emperor Yama had no ill intentions, Lin Su was really relieved. Who would have thought that Emperor Yama would throw another difficult problem to him? Although Emperor Yama said that as long as he tried his best, Lin Su knew very well that if that happened, if the spirit transforming liquid was so easy to obtain, I'm afraid the Emperor Yama wouldn't come looking for him. Spirit transformation liquid, as the name suggests, is not a mortal thing, and it is something that can only be found in the secret realm of gods and demons. It is useful even for masters of the mid-nascent soul stage like Yama, and getting it is probably as difficult as climbing to the sky. Point. What kind of place is the secret realm of gods and demons? According to the bald man, it is no different from the place of death. Lin Su has already made up his mind. Even if he really discovers the spirit transforming liquid, he can take it as long as he can. Don't take risks. Although the reward from Emperor Yama is tempting, you still have to be determined to get it. After making up his mind, Lin Su also put down a big stone in his heart and wandered around in the Yama city. The bald man is indeed right. This Yama city is indeed the ideal place for the killers of Yama Palace. It is far away from the outside world and deep in the sea. It is secretive enough. The killers set up their homes here without having to worry at all because of themselves. Let your family be harassed and retaliated from the outside world, this place is completely a paradise. After walking around the entire Yama city, he didn't meet the bald man or Len Lingyu. He didn't even meet any of the 7 people he saw at the residence of Emperor Yama before. Lin Su estimated that they should be in the capital of Yama city. Have real estate? Anyway, there were still 3 days left, so he couldn't waste it. Lin Su found an inn to stay in, but the cost was too expensive. 1 middle-grade spiritual stone was needed for 1 night, which was enough to stay in the outside world for several people. It's been over a month, which makes Lin Su feel distressed for a while. Although he earns spiritual stones quickly, he still feels uncomfortable with the obvious feeling of being ripped off. No wonder the killers all want to own their own houses in the city. How many people live in such an expensive inn? Affordable. After activating the protective formation, the soul entered the spirit field space. The spirit stones have been handed over and cannot be wasted. Let's take advantage of these 3 days to refine the dust falling pill. Lin Su was already familiar with the refining method of the dust falling pill. He had practiced it countless times in his heart. Moreover, the difficulty of refining the dust-falling pill was even less difficult than that of the foundation establishment pill. With the help of the magical alchemy furnace, in just 3 days, Lin Su successfully refined the dust-falling pill, and was even lucky enough to make 2 pills at once. Although Lin Su spent 9 foundation building pills when he first built the foundation, that was because he had 9 Dantians. Now Lin Su only has 1 Dao foundation and is a monster. It will be much easier for the monks, 2 dust-falling pills should be enough. When you come out of the secret realm of gods and demons this time, immediately find a place to retreat and break through to condense the golden elixir. An episode with Emperor Yama gave Lin Su a deep sense of crisis. Now he really has no ability to protect himself in front of the old monster in the nascent soul stage. He can't even escape. This kind of fate is in the hands of others. It feels bad. Although Lin Su is now in the body of a monster and is practicing Xianxia dragon transformation technique, Xianxia 9 styles can still be used. Of course, the premise is that he has achieved sufficient cultivation. One of the moves in Xianxia 9 styles is about movement, called Xianxia blood escape. It can ignore any barriers and restrictions and can travel thousands of miles in an instant. It is the best secret method for escaping. I just want to use the secret method. It also requires at least the cultivation level of a 6th level monster, which is the early stage of pill formation. If the trip to the secret realm of gods and demons was not imminent, Lin Suhen had the urge to take the dust-falling pill directly to attack the 6th level monsters. Brother Lin, you are finally here. As soon as Lin Su entered the hall of Emperor Yama's residence, Tianyuan and Leng Lingyu greeted him. Brother Lin, where have you been these past few days? I just went to your residence with Lingyu to look for you, but we found that you were not there at all. Lin Su was stunned by the bald man's words. My mansion? What mansion is mine? Brother Lin, you don't know. The bald man's face was full of surprise. We, the 5 great Shuras, all have their own residences in Yama City. Your residence is on Changshun Street not far from here. No one told me where I could go. I had to stay in an inn for 3 days, which was a huge loss. Lin Su rolled his eyes, thinking of the 3 mid-grade spiritual stones he had spent, and couldn't help but feel distressed again. Well, I thought you already knew, Brother Lin. The bald man chuckled. It's okay, you know it now. Brother Lin, you have many spiritual stones anyway, so it doesn't matter if you waste a little. Too lazy to pay attention to this guy who could make people mad with his words, Lin Su looked into the hall, and his eyes stopped on a man with long blood-colored hair. Like him, the man was also in the late stage of foundation establishment. Lin Su he only felt a cold and sharp air constantly pouring out of his body. Yesterday, his attention was focused on the Emperor Yama, but he didn't feel it yet. Now when he took a closer look, he discovered that his body was filled with murderous aura that was unusually strong. That's the 4th Shura blood knife, the coldest one among our 5 Shura. That guy has always been a loner and has little interaction with anyone. He has a cold face all day and night, and his whole body gets chills just by looking at him. Brother Lin, you'd better have less contact with him. It can be seen that the personnel of the 4th Shura blood sword in the Yama Palace are not very good, even the bald man has such a low evaluation of him. Perhaps sensing Lin Su's gaze, young Master Xue turned his head and glanced at Lin Su, grinning with a bloodthirsty smile, and a cold light seemed to flash in his eyes. This bloody knife seems to have the intention to kill me. When did I offend this guy? Although the murderous intention of the blood knife was only fleeting, Lin Su was still keenly aware of it, which made him very strange. He and the blood knife had no intersection, so why would the other party have murderous intentions for him? It seems like you need to be careful about this guy to avoid being tricked by him in the secret realm. Not far from Shuedao, another late-stage foundation building monk was shorter and shrouded in a faint black energy. His face could not be seen clearly, and even his consciousness was cut off by the black energy. That's the second Shura Chen Tian, a very disgusting guy. Nausea. What does this mean? Seeing Lin Su's expression of confusion, the bald man quietly explained through the voice, Chen Tian practices the art of poison, and his attack methods are mainly poisons and poisonous insects. Brother Lin, you know, women are not sensitive to these things. They are all disgusting. Lin Su understood that he was such a disgusting person. He thought that Chen Tian was some kind of scum with extremely low moral character. Practicing the art of poison is called poison cultivation. Lin Su had heard of poison cultivation, but had never seen it before, and he suddenly became a little curious. But I heard the bald man continue, Chen Tian is a cold-faced guy with a warm heart. In fact, he is very easy to get along with, especially the spiritual wine he brews, which is simply the best in the sea of stars. Brother Lin, I'm afraid you don't know, my Wu he is the one who brews the spirit wine. This is the only one, there are no other branches. When I come out of the mysterious realm of gods and demons, I will go to him and ask for some for you to try, Brother Lin. He said and sighed, originally, I wanted to invite Chen Tian to work together, but this aunt suddenly stepped in. With her dislike of Chen Tian, she would never agree. What a pity. Looking at the regretful look on the bald man's face, one doesn't know whether it's a pity that he couldn't invite Chen Tian to cooperate, or a pity that he missed a chance to get drunk, but I'm afraid it's mostly the latter. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 115. In addition to the 5 great Shuras, the other 5 people in the hall are all the hall masters of the big city branch halls. Their cultivation is in the Jindan stage. However, Lin Su looked and found that they were all in the middle Jindan stage, and there was no late Jindan stage. I think they should be the hall masters whose strength is far higher than their cultivation. Logically speaking, this god and demon secret realm only restricts the cultivation below the Yuanying stage. It should be safer to allow masters in the late Jindan stage or even the great perfection stage to enter it, but for some reason, there is no one, and I don't know what the King of Hell is thinking. However, this is not what Lin Su needs to consider. He just needs to try his best to save his life in the god and demon secret realm and get enough benefits. After waiting for an incense stick of time, the voice of the King of Hell suddenly rang in the hall, everyone come to the northeast corner of the backyard. Everyone came to the northeast corner of the backyard as he was told, but saw the King of Hell standing in front of an altar in a white shirt, with his hands casting a series of mysterious spells on the altar. The spell floated into the void above the altar and disappeared as if it was absorbed. The spiritual energy of the surrounding heaven and earth surged toward the altar. As the altar absorbed more and more spells, the flow of spiritual energy became more intense, and finally brought a woohoo sound of wind, forming a stream of air visible to the naked eye. The universe is boundless, the stars are moving. Open. With a light shout from the King of Hell, a bright line more than 1 person high suddenly appeared on the altar. As the King of Hell opened his palms together, the bright line also expanded, forming a light gate shining with dazzling light. This portal can only last for 10 breaths, follow me. After saying this lightly, the King of Hell stepped into the light gate and disappeared. Only lasted for 10 breaths? Lin Su and others did not dare to neglect it. They entered in a flash. 10 breaths seemed short, but for these masters of the Yama Palace, just entering the light gate was enough. Outside the barrier at the southern edge of the Chaos Star Sea Demon Sea, there was an altar floating in the void thousands of miles away from the sea surface. It was almost exactly the same as the altar in the northeast corner of the backyard of Yan Luo Tianzi. Suddenly, a light gate lit up on the altar, and Yan Luo Tianzi walked out of the light gate first, followed by Lin Su and the 10 people who wanted to enter the god and demon secret realm. This altar is actually in the void. Lin Su was shocked. It took Yan Luo Tianzi to open the transmission light gate. The entrance to the god and demon secret realm must be extremely secret. I don't know where this is in the Chaos Star Sea. Lin Su looked at the faces of the others and saw no surprise. The hall masters in the Jindan period all floated away from the altar, and the bald man and several others also flew away on their swords. He quickly took out a 5-element spirit sword from the spiritual field space and flew away from the altar on his sword to the bald man's side, and quietly communicated with him. "Brother Tian, do you know where this is in the Chaos Star Sea?" "I don't know, I haven't been here, and there's nothing on the maps I collected." "Then why are you so calm, not surprised at all?" "Who said I wasn't surprised? I'm just pretending to be calm, okay? Don't let others look down on me." Looking at the bald man's calm face, Lin Su was speechless for a while, and could only sigh that his skin was not thick enough, and there was still a big gap between him and these black-bellied guys. He had to continue to work hard to practice. After thinking about it, Lin Su took out a jade slip, which contained the maps he had collected over the years. When he probed into one of them with his spiritual sense, he was stunned. There was actually a glowing point in the map. This glowing point was naturally Lin Su, and the location shown was just outside the barrier of the Demon Sea. The Demon Sea is a forbidden area for human cultivators in the Chaos Star Sea. Basically, no cultivators would come here. If Lin Su had not collected blood ginseng and broken vein grass to refine the transformation pill, he would not have set foot in this forbidden area. He really did not expect that the entrance to the God and Demon secret realm was right next to the Demon Sea. Will there be an entrance to the God and Demon secret realm in the Demon Sea within the barrier in front? A thought suddenly flashed through Lin Su's mind. In this Chaos Star Sea, cultivators and monsters stand side by side. To be more specific, the monsters are even stronger. It's just that because of the lack of unified leadership, they are independent, so they rarely conflict with human cultivators. However, the opening of the God and Demon secret realm is such a big event. All 30 places are occupied by the 3 major human forces, and there is no movement from the monsters. This is not normal no matter how you think about it. Maybe the monsters also have an entrance to the God and Demon secret realm, and it is very likely to be opened in the Demon Sea. The more Lin Su thought about it, the more he felt that this guess was possible. Otherwise, with so many people entering the secret realm of gods and demons, why would King Yan Luo be so sure that he could help them get the spiritual liquid and bring them out of the secret realm of gods and demons smoothly? "Brother Lin? Brother Lin? What are you thinking about?" Seeing Lin Su frowning slightly and looking solemn, the bald man waved his hand in front of him in a strange way. "Nothing." Lin Su shook his head after coming to his senses and put away the spiritual stone with the map. Not long after, the altar lit up again with a dazzling white light, and a group of monks in blue and white Taoist robes walked out of the light gate. They were monks from Xianxia Palace. The leader was Xianxia, the master of Xianxia Palace. "Brother Luo, you came to Yan Luo Palace early enough." Xianxia saw Emperor Yama standing in the void at a glance. A bright light flashed in his eyes, and he flew over, but stopped a few feet away from Emperor Yama. Emperor Yama's attack and killing methods were unparalleled in the world. Even Xianxia did not dare to get too close. Both each other, it's not too late for Xianxia Palace to come. A contemptuous smile flashed across the corner of Emperor Yama's mouth, and he replied lightly, but his eyes were directed at the altar. He saw that the light door had just disappeared and appeared again. Yewuji, the master of the Spirit Beast Island, took his spirit. 10 monks from Beast Island came out. "Brother Su, Brother Luo, long time no see, you two look even better than before." Yewuji laughed loudly as soon as he appeared, and flew straight to the side of Emperor Yama. He was less than 3 feet away from Emperor Yama, but he was not worried at all about Emperor Yama's attack and killing methods. A trace of warmth flashed in the eyes of Emperor Yama, and he nodded towards Yewuji. He appreciated Yewuji's straightforwardness more than Xianxia's hypocrisy. It seems that the relationship between Emperor Yama and the owner of Spirit Beast Island is good, but not so good with the owner of Xianxia Palace. Lin Su muttered secretly, and suddenly his nose moved. Huh? What does it smell like? A very faint fragrance that Lin Su seemed to have smelled somewhere came. Looking in the direction of the fragrance, his eyes fell on a female monk from Spirit Beast Island. This female monk was in the middle stage of foundation building. She looks quite sweet, but Lin Su is very sure that he has never seen her. It's strange, I don't know this woman. With a trace of doubt, Lin Su activated the destroying silver eyes, and saw a flash of silver light in her eyes, and the appearance of the female monk from Spirit Beast Island suddenly changed. It's her. The female monk who revealed her true appearance under her silver eyes turned out to be Lin Su's old acquaintance, Ye Ping-er, the eldest lady of Spirit Beast Island. Strange, why does she pretend to be someone else? As the eldest lady of Spirit Beast Island, it should be easy for Ye Ping-er to obtain the qualifications to enter the secret realm of gods and demons. Why would she dress up like this? If Lin Su hadn't been extremely sensitive to smells and had the destroying silver eyes, he might not have been able to detect her disguise. Ye Ping-er seemed to be aware that someone was paying attention to her, and turned to look at Lin Su. Is it him? Ye Ping-er's eyes suddenly widened in surprise. Wasn't the monk looking at her from the Yama Temple monk the one who saved her from the hands of the void life? He turned out to be from Yama Palace. Broken silver eyes? Oops. Lin Su's eyes were shining with silver light. As the eldest lady of Spirit Beast Island, Ye Ping-er was naturally familiar with the innate skill of the Spirit Eye Snow Python destroying silver eyes. She recognized it at a glance and suddenly thought to herself. Not good. Ye Ping-er sneaked in by pretending to be a female cultivator named Lu from Spirit Beast Island. If her true identity was revealed by Lin Su, Ye Wuji would definitely take her back to Spirit Beast Island, and there would be no way for her to enter the divine realm. MagicalSpace. Please, don't say it. Don't ever say it. The two of them were several feet apart, and Ye Ping-er didn't dare to communicate rashly for fear of being discovered by her father Ye Wuji. She could only look at Lin Su with a pleading look, secretly hoping that he would not reveal her identity. Why does this little girl's eyes seem to be pleading? Are you pleading with me not to reveal her identity? Lin Su looked at Ye Wuji, the owner of Spirit Beast Island, who was standing 3 feet away with Emperor Yama, and suddenly a flash of realization flashed in his heart. It seemed that the owner of Spirit Beast Island did not want his daughter to enter. It's an adventure in the secret realm of gods and demons. Ye Ping-er may have sneaked in disguise behind his father's back. While secretly laughing, Lin Su nodded towards Ye Ping-er and gave her a reassuring look. Ye Ping-er's desire to enter the secret realm of gods and demons was her own business, and exposing her would do no good to Lin Su. There was no need to offend this young lady. Besides, it is better to have one more acquaintance enter the secret realm of gods and demons than to have many people who don't know the details. At least Lin Su can be sure that Ye Ping-er will not take the initiative to become his enemy. Upon receiving the look from Lin Su, Ye Ping-er breathed a sigh of relief and looked at Lin Su gratefully, feeling a hint of excitement and joy in her heart unconsciously. After being rescued by Lin Su that time, Ye Ping-er also mobilized the power of Spirit Beast Island to find Lin Su's whereabouts, but he only knew Lin Su's appearance and did not know Lin Su's name and origin. I couldn't search in a big way, so I didn't get any results. I didn't expect to meet Lin Su here. After entering the secret realm of gods and demons, find an opportunity to chat with him and thank him for his life-saving grace. I am the eldest lady of Spirit Beast Island. If I don't repay my kindness, I will be laughed at by others. In order to avoid arousing suspicion, Ye Ping-er withdrew her gaze from Lin Su and only glanced at it from time to time. The group of people just floated quietly in the void, waiting for the entrance to the secret realm of gods and demons to open. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 116. Here we go. Half an hour later, the leaders of the three major forces suddenly opened their eyes at the same time, staring at the void ahead. Lin Su and others also looked over with emotion. I saw thick thunder and lightning suddenly appearing in the void, making a crackling sound, and then a small pitch-black space crack appeared in the center of the thunder and lightning. The violent space power spurted out from it, forming a messy shockwave that spread out in all directions. Even though he was tens of feet apart, Lin Su still felt the powerful impact. The sword light shook for a while, and others also felt a wave of shock. The body was unstable, and those with lower strength were even knocked over twice. It's amazing. Searched Can on Google. Motivating Long Yuan to stabilize the sword light, Lin Su secretly exclaimed that it was powerful. The force of this impact was extremely messy and cancelled out a lot of each other's power. Otherwise, they would probably not have the sword light unstable, and they would be vomiting blood and flying around. Possible. Among the crowd, only the masters of the three major forces remained motionless, and even the other masters in the Dan formation stage were shaking to varying degrees. Just for a moment, I could see the strength and weakness among the three major forces. Although the sword light of the five major Shura of Yama Palace was shaking, the swing was not big and it soon stabilized. On the other hand, the buildings of Xianxia Palace and Spirit Beast Island were unstable. The basic disciples were far behind. Many of them were pushed back several feet, and they were in a panic. Brother Luo, the disciples of Yamahal are very good, and the five great Shuras are indeed worthy of their reputation. Yewuji laughed and praised, and then looked at the disciples on Spirit Beast Island with some hatred. Hey, these disciples under me are really far behind compared to your five great Shura. Su Kangxian turned his attention to the bald men Tianyuan and Lin Su, his eyes narrowed, and a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Immediately, Su Kangxian's voice rang in the ears of every Xianxia temple monk. That bald man, the boy with the lavender flying sword, is the first Shura Tianyuan and the fifth Shura Lin Su of the Yama Palace. All disciples of the Xianxia Palace, if they encounter these two people in the secret realm of gods and demons, they don't have to hold back and kill them directly. Su Kangxian had issued this killing order a long time ago, and now it was reiterated again. The gazes of the 10 monks from Su Tian Temple looking at Lin Su and Tianyuan suddenly became gloomy. Brother Lin, why do I feel that those guys in Xianxia Palace look at us with some evil intentions? Not only Lin Su, but also the bald man Tianyuan noticed the coldness in the eyes of the people in Xianxia Palace, and frowned and spoke to Lin Su. It's not ill-intentioned, it's just naked murderous intent. Lin Su was very sensitive to murderous intent. After Su Kangxian glanced at himself and the bald man with murderous intent, the monks from Xianxia Temple showed murderous intent towards the two of them, probably without Su Kangxian's instruction. No matter what, we must be careful. Since these guys from Xianxia Palace have murderous intentions towards us, we don't have to be merciful. If we have the chance, we will kill them first. A trace of cruelty flashed in Lin Su's eyes. Instead of waiting for others to deal with him, it is better to nip the danger in the bud and strike first to gain advantage, and to strike later to suffer disaster. 5 years of career as a killer has already wiped out the last trace of softness in his character. When good deeds are wiped out, no matter what method you use to treat your enemies, you can never go too far. Okay. My double dragon thorns have been thirsty for a long time. Is the highest enjoyment of killing. The bald man's drunken look made Lin Su roll his eyes, this wretched and perverted man. As the space crack in front expanded, a dark transmission channel appeared in front of everyone, and the violent space power gradually stabilized. The passage has been stabilized, go in. Remember, this passage can only last for 3 years at most. In these 3 years, the 3 of us will stabilize the passage here. If you can't come out within 3 years, you have to wait until 3 years. It's time for the passage to open again after 100 years. Su Kangxian's voice sounded in the void, however, in this secret realm of gods and demons, I'm afraid no one can survive for 300 years. Lin Su's heart froze. The meaning behind Su Qiangxian's words was that if he couldn't get out within 3 years, his life would have to be left in this secret realm of gods and demons. The monks from the 3 major forces flew towards the passage one after another, held up the true energy shield and disappeared into the passage. Lin Su was about to enter, but was stopped by the bald man Tianyuan. Brother Lin, I heard that after entering this passage, you will be randomly transported to any place in the secret realm of gods and demons. You should take this talisman with you, so that the 3 of us can be transported to the same place. The bald man handed over a blue amulet with a light black mysterious pattern on it. Lin Su was slightly stunned and took it. Are you teleporting randomly? It seems like Tianyuan knows a lot of things. After giving the bald man a meaningful look, Lin Su put the amulet into his clothes, held up the shield and got into the passage. The familiar tearing force of space came, and Lin Su's figure was pulled by an invisible force and flew towards the depths of the passage. When the clarity returned again, he found himself standing in a desert. Looking around to remove the dim, there was nothing but sand and rocks, and the sky was completely covered with black clouds, making it look extremely dark. Is this the secret realm of gods and demons? It feels different from what I imagined. Lin Su murmured, and saw a flash of white light beside him, and the figure of the bald man Tianyuan appeared, followed by the little elf Len Lingyu. It seemed that the bald man's amulet affected the teleportation of the 2, and the 2 were teleported. Arriving at Lin Su's side. That's right, the talisman. Lin Su reached into his clothes, but he didn't touch the amulet. It seemed that this was a one-time magic weapon that had been consumed in the transmission process just now. Brother Tian, do you know where this is? Lin Su felt that he had asked in vain as soon as he asked, because Tianyuan and Len Lingyu were also staring at the surrounding scenery in a daze. It was obvious that they were as confused as Lin Su. The palace master is not fooling us. Is this the secret realm of gods and demons? No matter how you look at it, it doesn't look like there are any natural treasures. The bald man muttered, and flew into the air with a sword light, intending to look down from the air to see if there was anything strange. Ouch! Just when it rose to a distance of 100 feet above the ground, a dark lightning suddenly struck out from the black clouds in the sky, hitting the bald man directly, but he heard a scream and fell down in a spin. Lin Su hurriedly kicked the ground and soared into the sky to catch the bald man, but saw that his whole body was charred and the whole person was still convulsing. He couldn't help but take a breath. Just a lightning bolt has split Tianyuan like this, it's too scary. Len Lingyu also kept taking a breath, looking up at the black clouds in the sky. His face was uncertain. It seems that although there is no no-fly restriction here, once you fly high, you will be bombarded by thunder. This is trouble. Lin Su also frowned. There are certain restrictions on spiritual consciousness here. He tried it just now, and at most he could release his spiritual consciousness about 100 meters, which didn't work at all. Now looking around, the scenery is the same and monotonous. If you can't fly to a high altitude to check, how can you leave here? After giving the bald man a healing pill, Lin Su transformed the dragon essence into wood spirit and water spirit and continuously cast restorative spells. After an incense stick of time, the bald man woke up from his coma and began to heal his wounds. I need to determine the range of the thunder attack. Senior Sister Len, please take care of Brother Tian. It is unknown what dangers will be encountered in this secret realm. Lin Su must determine the specific height of the thunder attack, so as not to be attacked by thunder when flying to avoid danger, and suffer a great loss from being attacked from both sides. Leaving a word, Lin Su carefully flew into the sky with the sword light. 30 feet, no thunder attack. 60 feet, no thunder attack. 90 feet, still no thunder attack. The bald man was bombarded by black thunder at a distance of 100 feet before. Lin Su slowed down and slowly increased the height. 96 feet, 97 feet, 98 feet. When the height reached 99 feet, Lin Su suddenly felt a palpitation in his heart, and the hairs on his body suddenly exploded. Shape change. Without time to think, Lin Su directly used shape change, leaving a residual image and disappearing on the spot. Boom! A black lightning shot out from the black cloud and instantly passed through Lin Su's residual image. It was a close call, I almost got hit. Lin Su appeared in the lower air 10 meters away, looking at his residual image that was shattered by the lightning, and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead with some fear. Fortunately, he reacted quickly, otherwise he might not have ended up much better than the bald man. He tried twice more, and was hit by thunder at a height of 99 feet. It seems that the critical line of this thunder attack is the height of 99 feet. It has been tested clearly. As long as we control our flight within 99 feet, we will not be attacked by the black thunder. Pressing the sword light, Lin Su said the result of his test. At this time, the bald man had recovered from his injuries with the help of the elixir. The charred color on his body gradually faded. He opened his eyes after a long sigh. Let's leave this damn place quickly. I don't want to stay here for a quarter of an hour. The bald man's face was full of depression. He suffered a loss just after entering the secret realm. It would be strange if he could be in a good mood. You said it as if we really wanted to stay here. Len Lingyu rolled her eyes at the bald man. If it weren't for taking care of you, the wounded, we would have left just now. I really don't know how you got the title of the first Shura, you are so rash and impatient. How should I know that if I fly too high, I will be struck by lightning? If you are not impatient, why didn't you remind me just now? It's really hindsight. The bald man rolled his eyes and muttered in his heart, but he didn't dare to say it out loud, otherwise Len Lingyu would definitely get angry. I just looked in the air and there was a hint of green in the southeast sky. We should be able to leave this area. A good event that falls from the sky, a cool mobile phone is waiting for you. Follow the official account of Chi-Dian/Chinese website, add friends on WeChat, add official account, enter Dread, and participate now. Everyone has a prize. Follow the official account of Dread on WeChat now. Please subscribe and support with monthly tickets. Bezu will guarantee updates. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 117. After the light beam dissipated, a deep pit several feet in size appeared on the spot, with semi-solidified and flowing sand remaining around the pit. It's strange. What on earth is this thing and how can it emit such a high-temperature energy beam? The three of them looked at the bottomless pit and felt a wave of fear in their hearts. At the same time, they were also filled with doubts. The energy just came and went quickly. Now, in addition to the remaining energy in the pit, apart from the heat, I can no longer feel any energy fluctuations. If the energy beam just now was emitted by some monster, then this monster was too powerful and too gentle. According to Lin Su's judgment, even if the master of the Dan formation stage was hit by the energy beam just now, it would probably end up being instantly vaporized. As for whether the master of the nascent soul stage could block it, Lin Su did not dare to draw any conclusions. After all, he was now the same as the master of the nascent soul stage. The gap between the masters is really too big. If the beam of light just now was emitted by a powerful monster, then this monster should have rushed out of the surface to attack them, but now there is no movement at all. Since it is not a monster, it should be a treasure, and it can stimulate such an energy beam, so this treasure must be extraordinary. Not only Lin Su thought this, but also the bald man and Len Lingyu. Should we go down and take a look? The bald man glanced at Lin Su and Len Lingyu and suggested. We won't encounter the energy beam just now, right? With that level of high temperature, as long as it touches the edge, we will be seriously injured even if we don't die. Len Lingyu was also a little eager to try, but she was still a little worried. Probably not. Such a huge amount of energy shouldn't be able to be condensed for a while. Lin Su shook his head, and his consciousness probed into the pit, but he could only explore a distance of 100 meters. His consciousness could no longer extend further down, and he did not know the specific depth of the pit. Go down and have a look. If you don't enter the tiger's den, you won't catch the tiger's cubs. Aren't we entering this mysterious realm of gods and demons just to obtain treasures and opportunities? Now the treasure may be right in front of us, do you want to give up? Raising his eyebrows, Lin Su blessed himself with ice armor technique, earth shield technique, vine armor technique, and wind control technique, and then jumped into the deep pit, slowly floating downwards. Give up, that's impossible. Hee hee. With a smile, the bald man Tianyuan followed Lin Su and jumped into the pit. Len Lingyu rolled her eyes and jumped down. After descending about 100 feet, Lin Su and the others arrived at the bottom of the pit. They were surprised to find that there was a tall altar. The energy beam that shot up into the sky seemed to come from the altar. Next to the altar, there is a passage several feet wide and high. Two transparent pipes made of unknown materials extend from the passage to the altar. A little black and white light spots converge from the pipes toward the altar. It looks very much like it is providing energy to the altar. The energy beam just now should be released after these light points accumulate to a certain extent. Lin Su looked at the black and white light spots in the transparent pipe and frowned. Just what are these light spots? Where does this passage lead to? Wouldn't you know it just by looking at it? Two gleaming spikes appeared in the bald man's hands, and he took the lead in walking towards the passage. This is. Deep in the passage is a huge space with a radius of hundreds of miles. Countless corpses are scattered in this space. These corpses are similar to human beings, but much larger. Some have single horns, and some have huge thorns on their backs. There are bone spurs, some ribs have wings, and some weird animal bones. Oh my god. It's like a huge cemetery here. Len Lingyu covered her mouth in surprise. To be precise, this is more like a huge battlefield, a battlefield between gods and demons. Lin Su looked at these ferocious and terrifying huge corpses that he had never seen before. He was very sure that even the transformed monsters would not have such bones. Thinking of the name of the secret realm of gods and demons, there was only one possibility. In front of him, the corpses in this space are the corpses of ancient gods and demons. Most of the huge corpses of these gods and demons still maintain the appearance of fighting in front of them. It is obvious that the two warring parties belong to different camp types. Some still retain the appearance of mummies, and some have been corrupted and only the skeletons are left. The huge humanoid beings with huge wings on their backs should be the gods. Even though most of them have only skeletons left, the color of their bones is different from that of the demons. They are like silver-white jade. The white light that Lin Su and the others had seen before points are condensed from these jade-like divine bones bit by bit. Although the speed is extremely slow, it is continuous. Contrary to the gods, most of the mummies of the demons are hideous and terrifying, with one horn or bone spurs, and the skeletons are also pitch black, with little black light spots that are constantly being generated. The direction in which these light spots converge is an altar a few miles away from where Lin Su and the others are. There is a square emerald green stone placed on the altar. The black and white light spots are covered by this 1-foot square stone. The stone was absorbed, and then transmitted through the two passages connecting the altar towards the altar that Lin Su and the others encountered before. It's really strange. Since it is a battlefield between gods and demons, why are there two such strange altars, as if they are collecting the energy of the corpses of gods and demons? Who would have thought that there would be such a large battlefield space under the desert sand above, and what's even weirder is that there are two such weird altars. Judging from the appearance of these corpses, they were probably powerful beings that Lin Su could not imagine before they were alive. They could still retain their corpses after endless years. The strength of these ancient gods and demons is definitely not inferior to the legendary immortals, and I am afraid they are even more powerful. With such an existence, there are still people who dare to take advantage of their corpses. 2 mysterious altars were set up here to collect the remaining essence on the corpses, which is really incredible. That stone seems to be a stone. I saw it in an ancient book. Len Lingyu stared at the emerald green stone on the altar for a long time, and then suddenly said, "Stone? What is it and what is it used for?" Lin Su and the bald man both turned their attention to Len Lingyu. "I have only seen it in ancient books. This is a stone that is only found in the spiritual world. It can absorb the essence of all things. The light spots emerging from the corpses of gods and demons are the remaining essence of the corpse." Len Lingyu paused, and a look of doubt suddenly appeared on his face. However, although this stone can absorb the energy of essence, it has no storage ability. The records in ancient books are usually together with the essence stone. The essence stone is used to absorb the essence energy, and the essence condensing stone condenses the absorbed essence energy into the essence stone. There is no essence condensation stone here. A flash of light suddenly flashed in Lin Su's mind. "I know where the essence condensing stone is." After saying that, he turned around and ran towards the passage from which he came. The bald man and Len Lingyu also showed a look of surprise, and rushed back into the passage after them. "It's really here." Rushing back to the altar he had encountered before, Lin Su jumped onto the altar, and sure enough he saw a light golden round stone about the size of a human head embedded in it, with silver white half-palm-sized squares scattered around it. "Semi-solid. Senior Sister Len, is this the essence stone?" Lin Su asked Len Lingyu, who also jumped onto the altar, with a trace of uncontrollable fiery color in his eyes. "Yes, this is the essence stone, and these silver white ones are the essence stone. We almost missed such a large amount of treasure." Because of the previous high-temperature energy beam, Lin Su and the others were worried that they would be in danger, so they did not check the altar carefully at first. Now that I think about it, if Len Lingyu didn't happen to know the stone on the altar of the battlefield of gods and demons, I'm afraid it would be really dangerous. I missed this essence concentrating stone and so many essence stones. As agreed before, the 3 of us will share these semen stones equally. As for this condensation stone, after dividing the semen stone into 3 parts, Lin Su urged the power of dragon essence to be injected into the 5 elements spiritual sword, and slashed towards the essence condensation stone on the altar. Boom! There was a loud noise, and the human head-sized essence stone shattered into 7 or 8 pieces. "Brother Lin, what are you doing? What are you doing? Of course you are splitting the essence stone. Otherwise, how will the 3 of us divide it?" As Lin Su spoke, he divided the split essence stone into 3 equal parts. However, he saw that the essence condensation stones that were in contact with each other actually fused together, and soon formed 3 pale golden round stones. "Hey, this condensation stone can actually fuse automatically." Lin Su originally only wanted to split the essence stone for easy distribution, but he didn't expect that the essence condensation stone could fuse automatically. It was indeed a treasure only produced in the spiritual world, and it was indeed magical. Boom! The 3 of them had just put away their respective essence stones and essence condensation stones when they saw numerous cracks suddenly appeared on the altar, with faint signs of collapse. Then the passage began to shake violently, and pieces of gravel began to fall down. "No, this place is about to collapse, hurry up." The faces of Lin Su and the others changed drastically. They turned around, jumped off the altar, and ran towards the passage. Too slow, damn it. The gap between the 3 of them was evident when they tried their best to escape. Lin Su was the fastest, followed by the bald man, and Len Lingyu was the slowest. The passage behind had begun to collapse. At this speed, except for Lin Su, I'm afraid both the bald man and Len Lingyu will be buried in the passage. Immortal cultivators are also human beings, not to mention that Lin Su and the other three are only at the Dzogchen stage of foundation building. If they were buried, the weight of hundreds of thousands of Jun would be enough to crush them into powder. Gritting his teeth, Lin Su slowed down, grabbed Tian Yuan's arm, turned around and hugged Leng Lingyu's slender waist, and activated transformation with all his strength. Xiao Linzi, what are you doing? Leng Lingyu was suddenly hugged by Lin Su and was startled instinctively. Just as she was about to break free subconsciously, she saw the figures of the three of hers flashing forward as if they were teleporting. The speed was several times faster than before. He swallowed the words that came to his lips and stopped struggling. A great pie-in-the-sky event, a cool mobile phone is waiting for you. Follow /Chinese website official account, add friends on WeChat, add official account, enter Dread, participate now, everyone will win a prize. Now follow Dread WeChat official account. Chapter 1 is here. Brothers who have monthly tickets, please support me, thank you. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 118. Faster, faster. Lin Su had pushed the dragon essence in his body to the limit, with veins bulging all over his body, and the passage behind him had begun to completely collapse. If it weren't for the ultra-short distance teleportation effect of transformation, the three of them would have been there long ago. Was buried. There were still dozens of feet away from the exit of the passage, and the passage in front began to collapse. No, it's too late. Lin Su looked at Leng Lingyu in his arms and the bald man sandwiched between his waist. If he dropped the two of them now, he would definitely be faster, but they were both his friends. He really couldn't do this. Fight. Small 5 elements sword formation. Gritting his teeth fiercely, 5 element spiritual swords flew out of Lin Su's body to form the pattern of a 5-pointed star, and flew forward. The collapsed stones were immediately crushed into powder by the sword array, and he was forced to shoot out. A road. There are still 10 feet. All the passages in front had collapsed. Lin Su injected all the movement power of transformation into Leng Lingyu and the bald man, and pushed with both hands. The figures of the two people suddenly disappeared and appeared in the space 10 feet away, and the passage had completely collapsed and blocked. Brother Lin. Xiao Linzi. The bald man's eyes were about to burst, and Leng Lingyu screamed uncontrollably. The two of them were about to rush forward to dig the passage, but they heard a loud noise. A large hole with a radius of 3 feet suddenly opened in the previously blocked passage. A small 5-element sword formation composed of 5 flying swords flew out. In the center is a spiritual-eyed snow python as thick as a bucket. As soon as he rushed out of the cave, the small 5-element sword formation suddenly disintegrated and turned into 5 streams of light that penetrated into the body of the spirit-eyed snow python. The spirit-eyed snow python also fell heavily to the ground and turned into a human form. It was the scarred one all over its body. Lin Su. Brother Lin, you. Xiao Linzi, you are actually a monster in disguise. The unbelievable scene in front of them made the bald man and Leng Lingyu stunned. They let out a scream and froze in place. They were not fools. Any monk with some common sense would know what the scene just now meant. Lin Su did not answer. His current condition was extremely miserable. All the bones in his body were broken, and his whole body was covered with large and small cracks and wounds. The monster can exert much greater strength in its true form than in its humanoid form, and its physical body can withstand greater strength. In order to save his life, Lin Su did not care about exposing his identity and directly transformed into his true form, enduring the overwhelming pressure. Shendi activated the small 5-element sword formation to open an escape passage. Fortunately, the passage had just collapsed and the accumulated strength was not too great. Relying on his tyrannical physical strength, Lin Su successfully withstood it, but he still could not avoid being seriously injured. Using all his strength to activate Long Yuanyun's immortal Lotus Heart Art, the immortal lotus heart seal in Lin Su's body began to emit bursts of life force. The broken bones began to recover and return to their original positions, the cracks and scars also began to recover, and even the blood that flowed out all flowed back into the body quickly. Lin Su's injuries recovered at an astonishing speed. He fully recovered from his injuries within a few breaths. Except for the considerable loss of dragon energy in his body, no trace of injury could be seen at all. What an amazing recovery ability! Is this the strength of a transformed monster? The bald man and Len Lingyu looked at Lin Su, who got up from the ground in shock. Suddenly, a blush flashed across Len Lingyu's face. She quickly turned her head away, and uttered two words hatefully, "Rogue." Lin Su was stunned and glanced at himself. Only then did he realize that his robe had been torn when he transformed. Now there were only a few rags hanging on his body. There was basically no difference between his whole body and his naked body. The little brother below stood up and greeted the two of them with his head held high because of the blood all over his body. He couldn't help but feel very embarrassed. Quickly taking out a set of clothes and putting them on, Len Lingyu turned around. A complicated and unreadable expression flashed across her still blushing face. "Xiao Linzi, how can you be a monster? There has never been a truly peaceful coexistence between human monks and monster beasts. If they are not from our species, their minds must be different. This is true for human monks, and the same is true for monster beasts. Human monks will hunt monsters to collect materials. Powerful monsters also treat human monks as blood food. Even every few hundred years, beast tides of varying sizes will break out in chaotic Star Sea, madly attacking the human monks. City." Suddenly knowing that Lin Su turned out to be a monster, Len Lingyu found it hard to accept it for a while. The bald man looked at Lin Su silently, the expression in his eyes changing and unclear, and he didn't know what he was thinking. "Originally I didn't want to tell you, but I can't help it. You have already seen it, so I don't want to tell you anymore." Lin Su sighed helplessly. "Yes, as you can see, I am a spiritualized snow python, a transformed monster." After a pause, Lin Su looked at the bald man and Len Lingyu. "Now that you know my true identity, do you still want to cooperate with me? Why don't you cooperate?" Rightward arrow. The bald man Tianyuan, who had been silent all this time, smiled. "What about human monks, what about monsters? Brother Lin, you have already transformed, so you look no different from us. Brother Tian, you don't mind that I am a monster?" Lin Su was stunned. Human monks and monster beasts have always been at odds with each other. Wasn't Tianyuan's reaction too calm? "I do mind a little bit." The bald man scratched his bald head. "Suddenly I discovered that Brother Lin, you are actually the monster spirit-eyed snow python. I was really surprised. But no matter you are a human monk or a monster, you are my friend Tianyuan, right, do you? I still remember that you saved my life just now. If it weren't for you, I would be a pile of meat now. Since I know that you will not harm me, it doesn't matter whether you are a human or a monster." As if being touched by the bald man's words, the tangled look on Len Lingyu's face gradually faded away, and she smiled again. "Tianyuan is right, we are friends, there is no need to care about each other's identities, let alone if it is not for you won't reveal your identity even if you save us. But Xiao Linzi, you have kept your feelings secret from your sister for so long, you have to give me an explanation, right? Cheating your feelings. When did I cheat on your feelings? It's my aunt who keeps pestering me, right?" Lin Su rolled his eyes depressedly and muttered something secretly in his heart, but of course he couldn't say it out loud. "Then what does senior sister Len want me to explain?" "Well, you saved me just now. Sister, I am magnanimous and don't care about you deceiving me. All the merits and demerits are equal to each other, how about that? Sister Lingyu, this is a good suggestion, the merits are equal to the faults. Brother Lin, don't worry, we will keep your secrets and will not reveal your identity. After the bald man agreed, he suddenly frowned strangely, circled around Lin Su, and muttered, "Strange, isn't it said that the monsters that can transform are all big monsters with advanced cultivation? Brother Lin, your cultivation level is not very high. How could you turn into a human form? And you don't have any demonic energy in you. If you hadn't revealed your true form just now, I wouldn't have known you were a demonic beast in disguise. Woolen cloth. Seriously, I'm not exactly a monster." Lin Su smiled and briefly recounted what he had said to Emperor Yama. The expressions on the bald man's and Len Lingyu's faces kept changing, and finally turned into expressions of astonishment. "I really didn't expect that, Brother Lin, you still have such a past." The bald man looked at Lin Su with envy. The self-destruct deity can still survive, and he can seize the body before the elixir formation stage. This kind of luck is simply unbelievable. As he spoke, he smacked his tongue. The powerful body of the monster and the soul of the human monk are simply the best of both worlds. No wonder you are so powerful. By the way, Brother Lin, you can also make elixirs. You can even transform the elixir. You can refine elixirs like the breath-reducing pill. Your alchemy skills must have reached the master level, right? No wonder you exchanged so many spiritual herbs to refine the dust-falling pill yourself. Seeing Lin Su nodded, the bald man hugged Lin Su's arm. "Brother Lin, you are my real brother. From now on, I will follow you. Please help me refine a dust-falling pill chant. Help me make one for my sister too. I will prepare the materials myself." Len Lingyu also looked at Lin Su with burning eyes. Her expression was like looking at a rare treasure, as if she wanted to swallow Lin Su in one bite. "You are so rude." Lin Su looked at the two people with a wry smile, and pulled his hand out of the bald man's arms. "I can help you refine it, but please don't tell me that I am an alchemy master, or else everyone will come to bother you. If you ask me to make elixirs, I won't be bored to death." Of course, of course." The bald man agreed wholeheartedly, and Len Lingyu's face was also full of joy. Although the falling dust pill, a heaven-defying spiritual elixir that can increase the chance of forming an elixir, can be exchanged for merit in the Yama Palace, the merit points consumed and the spirit of refining the elixir will not be the same. Compared with that simple material, there is a world of difference. With the current merit points of the bald man and Len Lingyu, they may not be enough to exchange for one. But it is different to exchange for the spiritual materials for alchemy. Not to mention exchange for one, exchange for four. More than enough for 5 servings. Let's wait until we leave the secret realm of gods and demons to discuss the matter of refining alchemy. We have just obtained the essence stone, and now it's time to collect the stones, and then find a way to leave this battlefield of gods and demons. The bald man and Len Lingyu had no objections to Lin Su's proposal. Being in this battlefield of gods and demons, surrounded by huge corpses of gods and demons, there was an inexplicable pressure. Who knew what would happen? It's better to collect the gold stones quickly and leave. The 3 of them raised their swords and flew towards the altar carefully. They did not encounter anything special along the way, and safely lowered their swords on the altar. Because the condensed essence stone has been collected by Lin Su and the others, there are no longer black and white light points transmitted out of the pipe connecting the altar, but there are still dots of black and white light points being sucked into the essence stone. A great pie in the sky event, a cool mobile phone is waiting for you. Follow /Chinese website official account, add friends on WeChat, add official account, enter Dread, participate now, everyone will win a prize. Now follow Dread WeChat official account. Chapter 2 is here. Thank you very much for the monthly ticket rewarded by the official Siju. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 119. It's still the same as before, split into 3 parts, one for each person. Taking out a 5 elements spirit sword, Lin Su was about to strike at the golden stone on the altar. Etc. The bald man and Leng Lingyu stopped Lin Su at the same time. What's wrong? Lin Su was puzzled. Don't be impulsive. We just collected the essence stone and collapsed the passage, almost burying us all. If this space collapses again, then we are really dead. That's right, brother Lin. At least we should find a way out first. Then we will have a direction to escape, right? What Leng Lingyu and the bald man said made sense. Lin Su had never been a stubborn person. He nodded immediately and the 3 of them began to search the tomb of gods and demons. A few days later. Where is this exit? We have searched through this tomb of gods and demons, and we haven't found any exit at all. Could it be that the only exit is the previous passage? The bald man sat down on the ground and complained. In the past 3 days, the 3 of them had searched dozens of miles around, but they did not find any possible exit from this space, nor did they find any other possible exits except other treasures besides stones. If this is the case, it will be troublesome. We can't dig out the collapsed passage again, right? After 3 days of non-stop searching, there was no result, and Leng Lingyu became a little impatient. After listening to Leng Lingyu's words, Lin Su couldn't help but rolled his eyes and dug out the passage again. Are you kidding? With their current strength, it would take at least a year and a half to dig out the completely collapsed passage. This secret realm of gods and demons has only been open for 3 years. If they really spend a year and a half here, then but he was really going to be trapped and die in this mysterious realm of gods and demons. What's more, even if the tunnel is really dug, who can guarantee that it will not collapse again? Lin Su doesn't want to be buried again. Since we can't find the exit for the time being, it's better to collect the gold stones first. This time the bald man and Leng Lingyu no longer objected to Lin Su's proposal. They couldn't find an exit anyway, so they couldn't continue searching like this, right? Crack. The 1-foot square stone was divided into 3 pieces, and each of Lin Su and the other 2 people collected 1 piece. It seems that we were a little too worried before. Collecting these stones did not cause the collapse of the space. The bald man put away the stone with a smile on his face, and then looked at the dome of the space with some caution, and found that there was no sign of collapse. He couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, but then the guy looked around with some worry. He looked at it and murmured, "There won't be any other changes, right?" As soon as he finished speaking, a strange aura suddenly surged out from the altar, spreading to a radius of 1 kilometer, followed by a sound of bones rubbing together with a low roar. Bald head, you are such a crow's mouth. Leng Lingyu's pretty face suddenly turned pale, and all the corpses of gods and demons within a radius of 1 mile came to life, slowly stood up from the ground, and all of these corpses stared at Lin Su. 3 people. Why are you still complaining? Run away. Although I don't know why these corpses of gods and demons are resurrected, the 3 of them have definitely been targeted. These corpses were no less than immortals when they were alive. Even if only the corpses and bones are left now, without any intelligence, it is not something that Lin Su and the other 3 can compete with. Where to run? There is no exit from this space. The bald man was anxious. Nonsense, you have to run away even if you don't have an exit. Run for as long as you can. Unless you want to stay and be torn apart by the corpses of these gods and demons. Leng Lingyu had already jumped into the sky and fled towards the outside when the corpses of the gods and demons were staring at the 3 of them. Lin Su quickly followed them without saying a word. Whoever wants to stay, wait for me. The bald man glanced at the huge corpses of gods and demons that had begun to rush towards the altar, and chased after him with a pale face. Only a fool would want to stay in this situation. Although these corpses did not emit any momentum and pressure, they had experienced endless time will not decay, and the physical strength alone is not something he can compete with. If he really stays, he will definitely be torn to pieces like Lin Su said. Ho! Ouch! Seeing Lin Su and the others fleeing with their swords, the resurrected corpses of gods and demons roared angrily. Corpses with wings or bone wings jumped into the air and chased the three of them. Other corpses that could not fly also flew at extremely fast speeds. Running at a fast speed, following the three people, the ground shook violently. In the area where the resurrected corpses of gods and demons ran, the rest of the corpses also shook as if they were infected. The scattered corpses and bones gathered together and joined the ranks of the resurrected corpses. More and more corpses of gods and demons are joining the pursuit, and the pursuit speed is getting faster and faster. The strength of these corpses in life is being displayed bit by bit, and bone spears and bone arrows are constantly being shot from behind. Later, chi swords and sword lights containing energy even appeared. Damn! If we continue like this, we will be caught up sooner or later. Are we going to be buried here? Look, what is that? Just when the three of them were about to despair, a powerful spatial fluctuation suddenly erupted from the edge of the cemetery space more than 10 miles away from the three of them, and then a teleportation channel with a radius of about 10 feet appeared. Exit. The exit has appeared. Hurry up and get there. Lin Su's eyes lit up and he roared. The three of them sped up and fled in the direction of the transmission channel. Roar. Ah! As if they had sensed the breath of the transmission channel, or sensed that Lin Su and the other two wanted to escape through the transmission channel, the corpses of gods and demons chasing behind suddenly became violent, and their attacks increased several times in an instant. How on earth did these things move? They were already dead, but they could still be resurrected. It's really a ghost. The bald man's face was full of resentment. He had just been scratched on his left arm by a sword. If Lin Su hadn't been quick to shoot a force of energy to make him deviate a little, it would probably not be a scratch, but the whole left arm would have been cut off. If you have the time to talk nonsense, fly faster. Don't you see that I'm struggling to resist? Lin Su squeezed out such a sentence from his teeth in annoyance. He was now completely flying backwards on the sword, and the five elements spirit sword danced in his hand into a sword curtain, blocking all the overwhelming attacks from behind. Fortunately, Lin Su's consciousness was divided into 4 parts, so he could naturally do 4 things at once. Otherwise, he would have to control the 5 elements spirit sword to escape, use his consciousness to check the road ahead, and block the incoming attacks. Wouldn't that be exhausting? However, even so, Lin Su felt quite exhausted, because the long-range attacks from these gods and demons were rapidly increasing, and a demon corpse with wings on its ribs that could fly had already caught up. A huge bone knife chopped towards Leng Lingyu's back. Be careful! Lin Su shouted, and the sword light under his feet flashed in front of Leng Lingyu, and all his strength was poured into the 5 elements spirit sword to block the bone knife. Dang! A strong force was transmitted from the bone knife to Lin Su's hand along the 5 elements spirit sword. Lin Su felt a tingling in his arm, and the 5 elements spirit sword almost flew out of his hand. Such a strong force, the humanoid form is not strong enough to stop it. Less than 3 miles away from the teleportation array, Lin Su's eyes flashed a ruthless look, shook his body and restored his original form. A 10-foot thick and 10-foot long spiritual ice snow python appeared in the air, and 5 more 5-element spiritual swords rushed out from the spiritual field space, forming a small 5-element sword formation to block the sky-wide attack, while Lin Su himself fought with the chasing demon corpses. Brother Lin, you! Little Lin, what are you doing? The bald man and Leng Lingyu screamed as the sword light slowed down. Don't talk nonsense, run away. I can't stop it for long. Lin Su roared, shook his body and entangled the demon corpse, trying his best to block it, and the 5-element sword formation formed by the 5-element spiritual swords also tried its best to block the attack on Leng Lingyu and the bald man. Tianyuan, hurry up, Don't waste Xiao Lin's efforts. A complicated look flashed across Leng Lingyu's face. He gritted his teeth and turned around to speed up and rushed towards the transmission channel. A trace of determination flashed across the bald man's eyes. He took out a talisman and threw it at Lin Su, shouting, "Brother Lin, don't die." Then he turned around and rushed towards the transmission channel. The talisman turned into a golden light and rushed to Lin Su. Suddenly, Lin Su felt that his strength increased several times in an instant, and he tightly wrapped up the demon corpse that was about to break free. The attack that originally hit him was a deep mark, now only left a shallow scar, and the defense ability also increased several times. What a magic weapon! Lin Su was overjoyed and dragged the demon corpse towards the transmission channel. Although he stayed behind, he didn't want to die here. As long as he could temporarily delay the footsteps of these gods and demons, he couldn't be wrapped up. Because of Lin Su's obstruction, Leng Lingyu and the bald man were able to flee at full speed, and soon rushed over a distance of 3 miles to the transmission channel. "Little Lin, stop blocking. Come quickly. Brother Lin, hurry up." Leng Lingyu and the bald man had escaped, and Lin Su no longer blocked them. He endured the pain all over his body and threw the entangled demon corpses towards the army of gods and demons behind him. His body shrank into a residual image and activated shape change to rush towards the transmission channel. The 5 elements spirit sword was also collected into the spiritual field space. "Hurry in." Rushing to the transmission channel, Lin Su regained his human form, grabbed Leng Lingyu and the bald man, and pushed them into the transmission channel. Buzz! A huge wave of energy came from behind, and thousands of attacks hit Lin Su's back heavily. Lin Su felt as if his whole body was about to split apart. He spit out a large mouthful of blood. The whole person was hit into the transmission channel by the huge impact force. His eyes went black and he lost consciousness. The transmission channel also collapsed, leaving only the attacks hitting the empty space and the angry roars of the gods and demons. A good event that falls from the sky. A cool mobile phone is waiting for you. Follow the official account of Kidian/Chinese website, add friends on WeChat at official account, enter Dread, and participate now. Everyone will win a prize. Follow the Dread WeChat official account now. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 120. I don't know how long it took, but Lin Su woke up leisurely and found himself lying on a piece of green grass, next to a bonfire. The bald man Tianyuan was roasting a beast the size of a calf, and bursts of aroma filled the air. Among. "Xiao Linzi, are you awake?" Leng Lingyu's surprised voice sounded next to her. "You have been in a coma for 7 days, but you are worried about your sister." Only then did Lin Su realize that his head was resting on Leng Lingyu's thigh. Waves of soft touch and heat came through the thin clothes, making Lin Su feel a little intoxicated. Ahem. Well, where is this place? Although it felt good to rest on Leng Lingyu's thigh, since he was already awake, he couldn't lie down shamelessly. Lin Su stood up and looked around. Where else could it be? In the secret realm of gods and demons, but it's no longer the space it was before. The bald man who was grilling meat turned around and said, "This secret realm of gods and demons seems to be composed of many regional spaces. So far, we have not met anyone else who has entered the secret realm of gods and demons." As he spoke, the bald man looked Lin Su up and down, and said in admiration, "Speaking of which, Brother Lin, your recovery ability is really amazing. When you were first teleported here, there was basically no good flesh on your entire back. Even the internal organs and bones are severely damaged. If it had been me, I would have died, but look at you now and you can't find any scars on your body." Lin Su checked his body and found that the injury had indeed healed. It was probably because of the immortal Lotus Heart Seal, but it involved the secrets of the spiritual field space and Qinglian. He couldn't explain it clearly, so he could only smile softly. "Senior Sister Leng, Brother Tian, Thank you for taking care of me these 2 days, otherwise I might not have the chance to open my eyes. Looking at the tiger-like ferocious beast being grilled on the bonfire, Lin Su hugged his fists towards Len Lingyu and the bald man Tian Yuan. Even though the surroundings were green and calm, Lin Su did not think that this place was really dangerous at all. None, otherwise where did the ferocious beast on the bonfire come from? If it were not for the protection of Len Lingyu and the bald man, I am afraid that he would have become a delicious meal in the belly of the vicious beast during the 2 days he was in coma. Brother Lin, what are you talking about? If you hadn't tried your best to block the attack of those corpses of gods and demons, how could we have safely escaped from that cemetery space? We are the ones who thank you. The bald man frowned unhappily. If you continue to be so polite, then you don't treat me as a friend, Tian Yuan. That's right, Xiao Linzi, my sister hasn't thanked you yet, but you've become polite. Len Lingyu also rolled her eyes at Lin Su with some annoyance. Although there was still a cold feeling in the depths of her eyes, it became much lighter when she looked at Lin Su. By the way, brother Lin, if you still have extra clothes and pants, change into the ones you are wearing and return them to me. Don't burst them when you transform. This is a top-grade treasure-level robe. When the bald man said this, Lin Su suddenly realized that the high-grade treasure-level clothes on his body were very similar to those on the bald man. His cassock must have burst when he transformed into his true form. Due to the space of the spiritual field, the bald man could not find the storage ring on his body, so he could only give him his top-grade treasure clothes temporarily. Replaced. Lin Su's current physical strength is almost the same as the defensive power of high-grade treasure robes. In addition, he has never been able to find treasure robes that can change with his body shape. He can only put some more magic weapon level robes in the spiritual field space. Pants. Although the bald man's clothes were top-grade treasures, they might not be able to withstand the power of Lin Su's expansion when he transformed into his true form, and the clothes did not fit well. After changing his clothes, Lin Su returned the bald man's clothes to him, and at the same time quietly asked, "Brother Tian, did you change my clothes for me?" "Of course I changed it. Do you think you should let that ant change it for you?" The bald man chuckled mischievously. "How about asking her to change it for you next time? I think she might not refuse." Hee. Lin Su. The one being grilled by the bald man was an early-stage foundation-building monster called the Thunderwing Tiger. However, this kind of monster has long been extinct in both the immortal cultivation world and the Chaos Star Sea. The bald man and Len Lingyu were only on the jade slips of ancient books. Saw it? This is the only monster that the bald man and Len Lingyu have seen in the past few days, and it is also the only living creature they have encountered in this space. It seems to have run up from the ancient city at the foot of the mountain. The current location of Lin Su and the others is in the green space on the top of a mountain peak. It may not be appropriate to call it a mountain peak. Perhaps it is more accurate to call it a hill. The bald man checked and found that the entire hill was shrouded by an inexplicable formation barrier. There was only a 3-foot wide path down the mountain. Once you crossed this route, you would be bombarded by the formation. With the strength of the bald man, he could only withstand 2 attacks. There is an ancient city at the foot of the mountain, but there seems to be no human traces. At least the bald man went down to investigate once, and he did not notice any living people at the entrance of the city gate. Because Lin Su was still in a coma, he did not go too deep. Just briefly investigated and returned to the top of the mountain. This means that if we want to leave here and enter the next space, we have to go down the mountain and enter the ancient city, right? Lin Su asked, taking a bite of the demon tiger meat in his hand. I'm afraid so. The bald man spread his hands. Then let's go. We don't have much time to delay. It has been half a month since they entered the god and demon secret realm, and Lin Su and his friends have not met anyone else who has entered it, which shows how vast this secret realm is. Although this god and demon secret realm is indeed full of dangers as the legend says, It also contains opportunities, just like the stone and condensed essence stone that Lin Su and his friends got in the God and Demon Cemetery and the passage. After eating barbecue, Lin Su and his friends carefully followed the path discovered by the bald man down the mountain and came to the gate of the ancient city. I don't know if it's because of the formation barrier, the spiritual consciousness here is more suppressed than the previous desert space and God and Demon Cemetery. The bald man and Len Lingyu can't release their spiritual consciousness. Even Lin Su can only release his spiritual consciousness less than 3 feet, and it consumes a lot of energy. More importantly, the ancient city is actually a restricted airspace. Lin Su tried it, and he could only jump less than 10 feet at most. The gravity is very large, equivalent to more than 5 times that of the Chaos Star Sea. Cultivators with cultivation below the foundation building stage may not even be able to resist this huge gravity, let alone move freely in the ancient city. This ancient city looks very strange. Do we really want to go in? We won't encounter the corpses of gods and demons again, right? The bald man swallowed his saliva with some fear. As the first Shura of Yama Palace, he thought he was brave enough, but after experiencing the cemetery of gods and demons, even the bravest people would inevitably have some shadows in their hearts under the terrifying death aura. Not all places are ancient battlefields of gods and demons. It is unlikely that the corpses of gods and demons will appear here. Looking into the ancient city, Lin Su shook his head and said, but no one can guarantee whether there will be something more terrifying than the corpses of gods and demons in this ancient city, but even if there is, we still have to go in, otherwise we can only be trapped in this space. If I were to choose again, I would never enter this damn secret realm. The bald man muttered depressedly. He naturally knew that what Lin Su said was the truth. Now he could only take one step at a time and hope that there would be some opportunities in this ancient city. After taking a deep breath, Lin Su and the other two carefully stepped into the gate of the ancient city in a triangular shape. They felt their bodies suddenly become heavier. As a demon beast, Lin Su's body was strong, so he didn't feel much. His muscles squirmed and he quickly adapted to the gravity. However, the bald man and Len Lingyu couldn't do it. Compared with demon beasts, the bodies of human cultivators are much more fragile. Their strength depends more on powerful Taoism and magic weapons. Stop and practice here until you adapt to the gravity here. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth in this ancient city is very rich, and it is not mixed with other energies like in the desert space. The bald man and Len Lingyu can absorb it. After walking a few steps, Lin Su saw that both of them had propped up the true essence shield to resist the heavy pressure. He frowned. If they kept walking with the true essence shield, the consumption would be too great. If they encountered any danger, they would be in a mess. With the strength of the bald man and Len Lingyu, it was not too difficult to adapt to the 5 times the pressure. The two nodded, sat down cross-legged, removed the true essence shield, and practiced to adapt. Taking out a few medium-grade spirit stones, Lin Su set up a simple defensive formation around the 3 people. Although it was not too powerful, it was still no problem to resist the full-force attack of the late foundation building cultivator. After the formation was set up, Lin Su also sat cross-legged and practiced Xianxia Hualongju. 3 days later. This is really a good place to practice. My physical strength is much stronger than before. In 3 days, the bald man and Len Lingyu have completely adapted to the 5 times gravity in this ancient city. Their strength has increased a lot, at least they will not be affected by the strong gravity here. The bald man and Len Lingyu were both delighted. They had never thought of using this method to train their bodies and improve their strength. Let's go, be careful. The 3 of them walked carefully into the ancient city, while always observing the movements around them. This ancient city was built on the mountain, with only one wide street extending toward the mountain, and the houses were located on both sides of the street. At first, there were only some low houses. Lin Xian and the other 2 searched for a while, but didn't find anything good. It looked like some houses, and the number of houses became fewer and fewer as they went up, but both the height and luxury were gradually increasing. From a distance, you can see a huge palace at the top of the stairs at the end of the street. Strange, why is there no one? Let alone people, not even a living creature was encountered. Lin Su couldn't help but frown and looked at the bald man. Brother Tian, did the thunder-winged tiger you hunted before really run away from this ancient city? A good event that falls from the sky. A cool mobile phone is waiting for you. Follow the official account of Chi-Dian/Chinese website, add friends on WeChat, add official account, enter Dread, and participate immediately. Everyone will win a prize. Follow the Dread WeChat official account now. Chapter 2 is here. Thank you for the monthly ticket of the reader Feng Guajiu.